Shumai guys, welcome back to the Life to the Full podcast, the podcast that helps you make the most of your time here on Earth. My name's Dav Morse, I'm your host. It is my job to help you make the most of the mist that is your life. Your life is here today, gone tomorrow. Everything that's in between is what I want to encourage you with, to live life to the full. Do everything that you can to enjoy life, to enjoy work, to enjoy family, to enjoy relationships, to enjoy money, to enjoy your spiritual self, and really just have a good time. That's what I'm here for. Don't know about you. Here we go. Boom. There. Yes. As you may know, we are in the middle of a series on relational health. And we've already said that relational health doesn't just mean relationships with a spouse or a significant other, but it is a relationship with everybody. And we started off the series with looking at a relational health with ourselves. What's our relationship with ourselves look like? Do we have a positive relationship with ourselves? Are we able to speak kindly to ourselves? Or are we a bit of a negative ninny towards ourselves? And so we are now looking at relational health in terms of a friendship relationship. So, what does friendship actually mean? What are some of the difficulties that we have with friendship? What are some of the challenges that we have in the 2026 world that we live in? Many of us have a mismatch between the desire that we have and the outcomes that we have in our lives. Many of us would like to see our friends more. Many of us would like to do more fun things with our friends. Many of us would like to go on more adventures with our friends. But life gets in the way. Work commitments, family commitments, all sorts of things can battle together to stop us from spending the time that we want with our friends. We might see our friends every few months. We like it to be every week. We might see them even less often than that. So today we are talking about why that matters, how to fix it. Some of the things that I've noticed is the difficulty that I've had with seeing some of my friends who I really value, and they live the other side of the country to me. We both have families, we both have work commitments, and so it is a challenge. But this year, 2026, I have made it my mission to see them, spend some time with them. So I've put the feelers out to try and get a date in the diary where we can go away for a few days together. And so something that I would encourage you to do straight off the bat, we're only a few minutes in, you're getting your first value bomb right here. Try and make an effort to put in the diary right now. Maybe not right now, once you finish the episode, yeah? Put in your diary a time to spend some time with your friends. Now, what does a healthy friendship look like? I saw the film Tolkien a few years ago, which depicts the life of J.R. Tolkien through his childhood years, through his schooling, through the war, through his relationship with C.S. Lewis. I thought this is a fantastic image of friendship. J.R. Tolkien, when he was at school, had a group of friends. There were 4 of them: Tolkien, Geoffrey Bax Smith, Robert Quilter Gilson, and Christopher Wiseman. And these guys, they weren't just friends. They were deliberately aspirational together. They really believed that they were truly called to change culture. And so they encouraged each other. So even when they were still at school, they met in the school library, in tea shops, in Barrow's stores, and they would challenge each other, they would encourage each other, they would read each other's work, they would point out flaws in each other's arguments, they would be sharpening each other. And I saw this recently at a school I was working at, where there was some sixth form students there meeting together to discuss politics, to discuss the way of the world, to sharpen each other's thinking, to think about hard questions to answer, and they'd be working things out together. And I just thought that was a beautiful way of doing friendship. And Tolkien actually continues his intentional friendships. And I think that's a key word here, intentional friendships. He had a friendship with C.S. Lewis, author of the Chronicles of Narnia and many other books as well. He was a great writer. They were both great writers, and they first met in 1926 at a faculty meeting at the University of Oxford. So Tolkien was a professor in medieval languages. His subject was philology, which is quite a cool subject. It's just languages, I think. And C.S. Lewis was a member of the English department. He was in the English literature department. He lectured at English literature. And when they began sort of interacting, they became central figures in an informal group of writers and thinkers known as the Inklings, which met throughout the 30s and 40s at Oxford. And they would take it in turns to read each other's works. They were both writers, and they would take turns sort of encouraging, criticizing, pointing out flaws and encouragements of each other's writing. It was a crucible of ideas where Lewis and Tolkien and the others, they critiqued each other's fiction and their essays, their shared mythology, and debated faith, myth, and philosophy. And it wasn't just socializing, it was an intellectual workshop environment. And I love that image of friendship. I love that image of having a few close friends where you shape each other. You don't just hang out, but you really dig deep. You challenge each other. You talk faith, you talk philosophy, you talk literature, you talk big ideas. And having somebody to rub shoulders with is a great way of having a friendship. It's fascinating to think that a lot of Tolkien's Lord of the Rings would be written on Wednesdays in preparation for their Thursday meetings. Without the persistent encouragement of his friend, and Tolkien would never have completed Lord of the Rings. Lewis thought that Tolkien's work was too long and complicated, and Tolkien thought Lewis's allegory was too simple. If you read The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, there is clear allegory there. Tolkien poked fun at it, but they both respected each other's work. There was mutual criticism, but they actually became better writers because of that. We wouldn't have either The Lord of the Rings or The Chronicles of Narnia without these encouragements, these criticisms, without these meetings that went on in Oxford during the 30s and 40s. They did have challenges. They started to grow apart potentially when Charles Williams joined the Inklings in 1939, and Williams became a wedge between them. He replaced Tolkien as Lewis's best friend, and they had some theological differences, although it is widely reported that J.R.R. Tolkien was critical, was a really key influence in C.S. Lewis becoming a Christian. And they never had the same friendship later on. What can we learn from this? Even great friendships have seasons and challenges. Mutual sharpening requires both encouragement and criticism. Shared values and passions are powerful bonds, and making regular time to see each other really matters. These guys met twice a week for almost 20 years, which is incredible. I'd love to have that level of friendship, that kind of deep commitment to somebody else. Friends challenge you. They don't just agree with everything. So pick friends who bring out the best in you. Pick friends who encourage you. Pick friends who aren't afraid to challenge you. I have one friend, I call him my red team friend. If you're not familiar with the expression red team, it's a military term where the red team has to ask all of the difficult questions. They have to challenge everything. They have to assume everything's going to go wrong, and what happens if this, what happens is that. And to have someone in your life who can ask hard questions and challenge you is extremely valuable. So I very much value my friend Ben. I have a friend, Andy, who encourages me to think differently about things. He encourages me. He makes me smile. I feel excited about spending time with him. Every time I think about going to see him or getting on a call with him, I think, yeah, this guy is going to energize me. And so I would encourage you to find people like that in your life. Find people. And it may not be easy, may not be the first person that you try and get to know, but to try and move to that sort of deep level of friendship. Seek somebody who encourages you, who sees your potential and cheers you on, who challenges you, who sharpens you, debates with you, makes you think. Find someone who brings joy, and find someone who is bold enough to call you out when you're wrong. Now, it doesn't mean dump friends who are struggling. True friendship is actually being there through the struggle. Bringing out the best of you can mean they inspire you to become more compassionate, patient, and understanding. Sometimes supporting a struggling friend brings out the best in you. I would never encourage someone to leave a friendship because the friend is going through a hard time. That is when your friend needs you the most, and you would hope that they would be there for you when you're going through your hard times. A wise man once said, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." So when I'm talking about picking friends that bring out the best in you and sticking with people that are having a tough time, I would encourage you to actively move away from bad company which may corrupt your good character. Are there people who are gossiping? Are people in your friendship groups always talking about other people behind their backs? Sometimes in the guise of being very caring, they want to share. They just want to share because they are worried about their friends. Are they simply gossiping? People who lie, people who are cynical, where nothing's ever good enough, always complaining. These are the people that can bring you down. These are the people that can corrupt your good character. Don't be friends with the enabler who encourages your worst habits. Wasting time, drinking too much, avoiding responsibility. Cut ties with those people and don't be afraid to pursue friendships which bring out the best in you. Make sure you do take time to challenge the people, because sometimes that is your difficult role. That is a difficult role of a friend. If you see somebody who is doing some of these things that you'd like to avoid, the lying, the gossiping, the enabling, be the friend, first of all, that challenges, that pulls towards positivity, that challenges the behaviors of the other people. But if they still don't listen, if they can't receive your encouragement, then maybe it's time to let them go. It doesn't mean just being judgmental or superior. It doesn't mean abandoning friends who just make mistakes or only befriending people that benefit you. That in itself is not a good thing to have in your friendship marker. Just being friends with someone because you can get something from them. It does mean being aware of who you become when you're with these people. It does mean protecting your character and values, and it does mean creating boundaries if needed. You may have come across this notion that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So make sure those 5 people that you spend the most time with are people who have shared values, who have habits that you want to emulate, who have speech patterns that are positive and encouraging. Ask yourself, after spending time with this person, do I feel energized? Do I feel depleted? Does this friendship make me want to be a better friend, a better person? Can I be myself with this person? How can this person and I sharpen each other? If I think of my friend Andy, he has encouraged me on more than several occasions to be a better dad, to be a better husband. He has shared honestly in his life how he is loving his wife, how he is loving his kids, how he is prioritizing them. And that in itself is just an encouragement to me to do better for myself, do better for my family, do better for my kids, do better for my wife. And that's the kind of friendship that I love to have. So why don't we see our friends as much as we'd like? I'm sure these are very obvious, very easy things to list. Busyness, work, family, just calendar is full. Geography, some people live far away. Some friends that you've had for a long time, they move away. Or maybe you get called somewhere else. Maybe you're the one that moved away and left your friends. Different life stages. If you have young kids, you'll know what this is like. It is really hard to have time to see friends during that period where you've got kids. If they've got kids, and even if they haven't got kids, they don't want to spend time with kids. They don't want to hang out with us. We eat dinner at different times. We eat dinner at 5:30 instead of 7:30. And just a mismatch of timings, calendars, schedules. It's just hard. And the classic one, lack of intentionality. It is so easy just to go week to week doing the things that you have to do. You get up, you go to work, you walk the dog, you take the kids to school, you do your normal thing, and often the week is gone. And because you weren't intentional, then you haven't spent time with your friends. I saw somebody say the other day, adulthood is just a constant stream of months on end of saying, yeah, once this is done, we'll have settled down, we'll have calmed down, and things will quieten down, and we'll be able to do more of seeing our friends, or whatever it might be. It's just an absolute joke. That calming down period never comes. Another thing that I've found that hampers friendship, particularly in the young kids phase, is when you're just spending all your free time hanging out at the park, and there might be another parent there, but any opportunity you have to chat is just punctuated with kids interrupting, first your kids, then their kids. You never have time to finish a conversation. Your conversations are just entirely bits of conversations, half finished. And so that really challenges this idea of having time to really dig deep with people. It's only very surface level relationships sometimes. How do we fix this mismatch? How do we fix this problem of not seeing the friends that we want to see and not having that level of depths of friendship that we need? Well, first of all, schedule it. Put it in the calendar. Make it happen. I know I've quoted Tim Ferriss once already today, or maybe that was last week, 2 weeks ago. Anyway, Tim Ferriss says at the beginning of the year he looks at his calendar and he blocks out and prepays for activities to do with his friends. So I think he's quite keen skier, and he's quite keen on doing some horseback archery and camping, and so he books that time in right at the beginning of the year. He makes people pay for it up front so that everybody's committed and everybody knows when it's happening, and it's not a case of, oh yeah, maybe I'll come, maybe I won't. That's it. Put it in the calendar, make it happen. Even if you make it like an annual thing, that can even take off the pressure of having to organise it every year. Whatever it is, make it happen by putting it in the calendar and make it regular. Maybe it's once a month Monday night poker night with your mates. Do something together. Do not just go to the pub and have a beer, although that can be great sometimes, that can be wonderful, but do something exciting. Go karting. How do you say go karting? Go karting. Go karting. Go karting. Hiking, camping, surfing, sharing a meal. That's a good one. When you share bread together, you share life together. That was my quote. I said that once. It's pretty good, eh? When you share bread together, you share life together. So be a people who share meals together. This activity creates a sense of shared experience, a sense of belonging, and even be intentional with your conversation topics. Think about what you might want to bring to a conversation. Think about where you might like things to go. Another thing you could do to see your friends more, might be a bit radical, but, could be effective, is move closer to your friends. Some people design their lives around their proximity to their friends. There's a few of our friends who live literally just around the corner to each other. And when you live in that proximity, when you live that close, then you can just be in and out of each other's lives. And these guys are literally in and out of each other's houses and lives all the time. They look after each other's kids, they do things together, they have fun together, and it's made so much easier by living next to each other. So next time you consider moving, instead of considering moving for a job, try considering moving to be close to people that you want to be friends with. Not possible for everybody, but certainly something to think about. What else can we do? We can prioritize differently. What are you saying yes to that you could say no to? What's taking up time that friends could fill instead? I know for a lot of us, work is one of the big ones. One of my things here on the podcast is I love the idea of making work optional. And if you're interested in making work optional, check out episode 61, How to Make Work Optional in 2025. Make a plan now. And number 65, The Joy of Not Working. When you can eliminate at least some work, then that frees up extra time for more of what we value. If you'd like to get some consultancy going on, I'm happy to consult with you on lifestyle design, how to make work optional, how to cut down on your work so that you can have more time to make the most of your life. Hit me up on Instagram or send me an email. Everything in the show notes. Something else we can do to make friendships happen a bit more easily, a bit more often, is lower the barrier. I've just said it's great if you can share a meal together, but maybe it doesn't have to be a whole elaborate meal. Maybe it's a short walk and a coffee. It doesn't have to be massive high production stuff. It doesn't have to be your best cutlery, your best crockery, and a full-on meal. It could be just a 30-minute catch-up on a Monday evening on the phone before you start watching The Office USA. I haven't watched that yet, but I think I should. And here's another classic. Why don't you combine friend time with other commitments that you're doing already? So, work out together, go to the gym together, play basketball together, play chess together, meet up and go to coffee shops and play chess. That's a great thing to do. I love that idea. Volunteer together. Maybe even consider getting a job where your friend works. That's a radical one as well, isn't it? Something that I've really enjoyed doing, actually, is meeting up and playing chess and just chatting about life with one of the guys I play basketball with. Usually on a Monday night to play basketball. And yes, we have a little chat. We have a, sit down, and whilst the other guys are playing, we can talk about stuff. But when you move out of that environment, when you go to the next level, that's when the real friendship starts. Something I've not heard a lot of people talking about is this idea of having friends in every decade. What do I mean? I mean having friends in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe even 100s. Because there is a richness that comes with having cross-generational friendships. There is something special about being friends with somebody younger than you, somebody older than you. You get this wide tapestry of life experience which you can share. If you've got friends in their 20s, their energy, their idealism, their fresh perspective, that's great. I know a lot of people have said the secret to feeling young and staying young is just having young friends and just hanging out with people who are younger than you. So just by virtue of hanging out with people in their 20s, you can feel much younger. You can have this enjoyment of life that can sometimes wane a little bit in your 30s and your 40s. When you've got friends in your 30s and your 40s and you're in the similar life stage, you're kind of in the trenches together. You're going through things. You're walking side by side with one another. You're facing the same difficulties with your work, with your kids, with your challenges. Because you're at that same life stage, then that is where a certain level of friendship is born. And then it's lovely to have people in their 50s and 60s that have wisdom, that are just ahead of you. There's a couple that we like to meet up with who have kids a bit younger than us. They're younger than our parents, and we regularly see them, and they are sharing their wisdom, they are sharing their life experiences, their perspectives, and I always come away with something to think about, always come away with some course of action that I can follow from following these guys' wisdoms. And it is just wonderful to hear from people who are navigating life just ahead of you. They've been through the tough things that you're about to go through, and to see someone at the other side is just really encouraging. And there's a guy in our church. They're all at our church. If you want friends, join a church. That's a hot take for you right there. But there's this guy in his mid-70s, and he is so enthusiastic. He's so full of joy. And I'm thinking to myself, when I'm 75, I want to be that wise. I want to be that full of exuberance to encourage those younger than me. Everyone has something to bring to a relationship. There's something that you can learn from everyone. Whether it's learning not to take life so seriously, learning about what works in our current struggles, or learning what actually matters to a good and long and healthy life. Everybody has something to offer. Like I've said, how have I managed to do this? Well, most of these people I'm friends with from different decades, they are from church. Not going to lie, it's a great place to meet people from different generations. But if you're not inclined to join the church for the spiritual aspect, I just say, why not go along for the social side, just to explore, see what it's like. Other ways that I've done this is I've made contact, or they've made contact with me, guys who have left school, left university, and they've found me, and we've gone on runs together, we've worked out together, And yeah, it's great to go to the pub quiz with some of these younger guys, people I've taught in the past. There is a level of intentionality required. If you're not keen on going to church, can't convince you, then there are any other number of ways of meeting people of different generations. Sports club, my basketball club has got guys as young as 17, 18, all the way up into their, I'm pretty sure they're 60. They look 60. They definitely look 60. And yeah, different life stages all across that spectrum, just from my basketball club. Why not get stuck in your neighbourhood WhatsApp group? Our neighbourhood WhatsApp group cracks me up. They're always moaning about parking. They're always moaning about people driving down the lane behind us. But there's also a wonderful element of community there. There's one lady who does a lot of stuff in the local park, litter picks, tree planting, all sorts of stuff that gets people together. And there's people from all different ages, from kids all the way up to people in their 60s and 70s, going along, meeting at the park, going for walks. That's one way that you could do that. Try a book club or a running club, things like that. And let me know. Let me know where you find your friends. One of the great pieces of wisdom that I have for you is this. It takes a long time to make old friends. It takes a long time to make old friends. So there's two ways of thinking about this. If you think about your oldest friend, how special is it to think about all the experiences that you've had together, maybe decades of doing life together, maybe you met at school or university and you've been through so much, and that going through the same thing at the same time, that forges friendship that you just can't replicate later in life. So make an effort, make the biggest effort to save your friendships from years gone by. But also, if you want friends who are going to be with you into your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, now is the time to start sowing the seeds for those friendships. Now is the time to start investing regularly into people that will be your friends in old age. Don't rush. You can't rush depth. Putting the effort in now not only is something that you're going to reap the benefits of now, but also you're going to reap the benefits in years to come. It's like compound interest. It's like investing now, thinking about future you. Think about future you when it comes to your friendships. It is easy to let friendships go, but be intentional about keeping those friendships. If you want to fast track depth in your friendship, try and go through hard things together. Have a shared experience. Even if it's a fabricated shared experience, like going up and hiking up Pen y Fan and sleeping up there without a tent. That shared suffering creates intimacy and it bonds people quickly. So if you are struggling to think of how you can do this, try and find a way of fabricating struggle and strife to go through something with someone. And if you have the opportunity to walk with someone through tough times, take that opportunity. But you still need to be patient. You can't force intimacy. You can't rush trust. Just take the time to make the effort. Wowzers, just noticed the time. Flips, this has gone on quite a while. Let's see if we can bring this into land. A few comments just to finish off. Be the initiator. It is so easy to say, oh, so-and-so never phones me, so-and-so never contacts me to do stuff. But take responsibility. Take the opportunity to invest and to ensure that these kind of friendships carry on. Your friendships are important to invest into. So be the one that takes the initiative and says, hey, let's hang out. Let's do this. No one can provide everything that you need. Not even a spouse. I'd encourage you to have different friends to do different things with. Sometimes we need somebody to work out with. Sometimes we need somebody to have a deep, theological, meaning-filled conversation with. Sometimes we need someone just to have a fun time with. Do something crazy like frisbee golf or disc golf, as it's called. Frisbee's a brand name, of course, so there are other brands available. Have friends that you develop skills with. Have friends that you fad with. Nobody can be everything, so have different friends for different things. Don't neglect marriage for friendship, and don't neglect friendship for marriage. Both are needed. We're going to be looking at marriage relationships next week, so pay attention for that one. A few practical tips for you to do now. Reach out to a friend that you haven't seen in a while. Somebody that you were friends with many years ago that you'd like to reconnect with, and make a specific offer. Why don't we go for coffee at such and such time in such and such place? Or why don't we go away for the weekend together in March or whatever it might be? And do something with somebody. Don't just talk, don't just hang out. Have a meal with someone, hike with someone, work out with someone, do a project together. Anything that enhances that side-by-side feeling. Another one, be vulnerable with a friend. Share something real. Ask a meaningful question. And if you don't have friends that you see regularly, pick one place to show up consistently. Commit to showing up consistently to your run club or to your gym or to your church or to whatever for 6 months and be the initiator. Ask people, hey, do you want to do such and such? You'll be amazed at how many people say yes. Friendship takes intentionality. It's worth the effort. And if you do these things now, you'll have wonderful friends into your 80s and your 90s. Next time we're looking at marriage partners. It's the biggest decision you'll ever make. How do you choose well? How do you build something together? Let's find out next week. Till next time, peace out.